Government is the largest organisation most countries have. It is tasked with designing and delivering the services communities need. So what drives a government to create its structure, and how does a government structure link to the components of complexity, formalisation and centralisation? As a society, we expect our public transport to run on time and our hospitals to provide high quality care. We also want education services, welfare, law enforcement, access to parks and all the things that make life comfortable. Government must provide stability so we receive these services, but it must also be able to adapt to change. To deliver a wide range of different services requires a degree of horizontal and vertical differentiation between government departments and roles. The vastly different roles and functions means the structure is complex. It is possible to have flatter structures in small functional units in government, but due to its overall size, it will also have hierarchical vertical differentiation. Flatline structures often provide more empowerment to those within them, as reporting lines are more direct with few layers between lower-level employees and senior management. Hierarchical structures give more control to senior management and a higher chance of consistency in operations. If government wants to provide services that society can rely on to be repeatable and regular, then its structure must have a degree of formalisation. To provide more predictable and consistent outcomes, organisations use policies, procedures and systems. This, of course, comes at the expense of agility and flexibility. When an environmental shock hits an organisation, a highly formalised structure often leads to chaotic and disorganised responses because systems break down and people are not trained to think outside the usual procedural boundaries. If you read the daily political news, you might think the government is centralised to one individual and a few senior members who make the decisions that affect our daily lives. But government is a decentralised structure. When any organisation reaches a certain size, it is forced to decentralise, because if it does not, it will be slow and cumbersome and will not be able to compete as well in its industry. As a country's population spreads and increases, a central government must establish smaller regional governments or councils that can be more flexible to changes in local markets and communities and deliver the right mix of services they require. Decentralised structures allow local managers to make decisions and can empower people to respond quickly and be intimately involved in solving the issue. However, decentralised structures have risks. The biggest is that the different business divisions will begin to make inconsistent decisions and the coordination and communication of initiatives can break down. Performance management across decentralised structures may be harder to implement if robust and accurate systems are not in place. To recap, using government as an example, we have learned that different factors such as the strategy, the environment, people, and size can influence how an organisation develops its structure. The three key components the organisation needs to consider are complexity, formalisation, and centralisation. Each has advantages and disadvantages, and the organisation needs to look for a balance between a level of control and being able to adapt to changing needs and situations.